Hello, I'm Mark and I have been the coordinator of the Pembrokeshire Eco Champion Project for the last 2 years. The project has now sadly come to an end and this video, which has mainly been made for evaluative reasons, is to tell the story of what's gone on in Pembrokeshire over the last 2 years.
January, a blank canvas. The brief to seek out and celebrate those around Pembrokeshire already doing great things to reduce, reuse and recycle. To build and support a network of community eco-champions who would be willing to model these positive eco-life choices and educate and inspire others to do the same. The overall challenge was to find ways to engage with the wider population of Pembrokeshire in readiness for the forthcoming county-wide waste and recycling service change and to ensure that residents understood the important part they needed to play in making that service change a success. So, I locked myself away for a few weeks and came up with a plan. The logo was designed, the brand was established, the social media channels set up, and the Pembrokeshire Eco Champion Awards were made. I hit the ground, put in some serious mileage, and sought out those among us already doing great things. By March, the Facebook page was ready to go live, along with 20 videos I'd produced, each showcasing the first 20 Pembrokeshire Eco Champions. Now it was time to expand this fast-growing network of champions. The first outcome of these 20 videos was that they caused many other very worthy champions to step forward and evidence the great things they too were doing. We were soon up to 50 Pembrokeshire Eco Champions. It soon became apparent, and I was delighted to find, that a huge number of people wanted to become Pembrokeshire Eco Champions, but they weren't quite sure how.
So 9 criteria were established to create the Pembrokeshire Eco Champion Challenge, a toolkit for individuals, families, groups, organisations and schools to work through to gain their champion status. The 9 criteria were really easy to remember because they were based on the word champions, and each letter of that word represented a criteria that had to be met. Therefore, to become an Eco Champion, you needed to prove that you could
campaign, help, affect, mend, participate, inform, organise, network and share. I built a website and created 9 videos, each explaining one of these criteria and what you could do to meet them. Many people signed up online and the Pembrokeshire Eco Champion Challenge became a major part of recognising and supporting local people who wanted to live more eco lifestyles. The greatest success of the Eco Champion Challenge was that I was able to establish a superb relationship with teaching staff at Pembrokeshire College and succeeded at getting it officially accepted as a community and environmental brief on their Welsh Baccalaureate. This Welsh Baccalaureate, my brief, provided the project with almost 500 hours of volunteer time. I was a big part of the team that were delivering the big waste and recycling service change that was being rolled out in November of 2019. There was a great deal of information that needed to be shared, and the success of the service change relied on people fully understanding why it was happening, what they needed to do to embrace it, what items they could recycle, and how those items were recycled. I wanted to come up with fun, interactive ways to help get those messages across, so I decided to create the Pembrokeshire Eco Champion Trail. It spent the last 2 years in the woods at Scolton Manor and consists of a series of 10 wooden boards hidden along a woodland walk. The challenge was to find each board, scan the special QR code on the smartphone, which then displayed 10 separate web pages containing information about reduce, reuse and recycle. Each page had a question to answer and people could submit their answers to win a monthly prize kindly donated by our partners at Bluestone National Park Resort. The Eco Trail at Scolton Manor was a huge success, so I created a mobile version of the trail which I was able to take to a number of community events and schools during the course of the project.
As well as the local authority waste and recycling service change, I decided the Pembrokeshire Eco Champion Project would champion a number of other very deserving campaigns.
The Community Fridge Network, tackling food waste. The 2-minute beach clean and the 2-minute street clean campaigns. The refill campaign, tackling plastic water bottles at source. And the Surfers Against Sewage Plastic Free Communities initiative. I was able to network Pembrokeshire's existing community fridges and plastic-free communities together and help establish new groups. I was able to find new communities to host a number of 2-minute street clean boards, and I became the regional coordinator of the Refill Pembrokeshire campaign, which, in a matter of months, had more online followers than Refill Wales. With the backbone of the project now established, I was able to start getting out into the communities and really connect with people. I went on Pure West Radio to promote the project and invite people to make contact and join this fast-growing network of Pembrokeshire Eco Champions. I worked in a number of communities and joined a number of local events to continue spreading the messages of reduce, reuse and recycle, and by the end of May I was able to post another 30 videos of Eco Champions on the project social media pages. The official Pembrokeshire Eco Champion Facebook profile frame was launched. It was staggering to see how many local people had chosen to adopt this and proudly declare their commitment to recycle more. In June, the project partnered with the organisers of the Pembrokeshire Coast Triathlon, and we incorporated a celebration of the communities of Broad and Littlehaven officially gaining their Surfers Against Sewage plastic-free status by having our logos created by the legendary, sadly departed but never forgotten artist, Mark Trainer. In June, we were delighted to pick up our first award at Pure West Radio's Pembrokeshire's Greatest Award ceremony. Our efforts and the creative ways we'd been working had earned us the coveted Innovation Star Award. June was a month where the Pembrokeshire Eco Champion Project and community litter picking became synonymous. From that point on, a week barely passed where I wasn't organising or supporting a group somewhere around the county. Plastic-free groups, beach guardians, even wombles. In July, I worked with some delightful pupils from Gelliswick School Special Needs class and NARC on a project where the children supported some local deep-sea divers to clear rubbish from the bottom of the sea. I also helped local sea life-saving club, the Buccaneers, to establish their weekly beach clean initiative. And we put some considerable weight behind a wonderful inflatable amnesty campaign and championed the community of Saundersfoot, who were now collecting and recycling inflatables that had been left on their beaches. Off the back of the press release containing this story, a number of other Pembrokeshire coastal communities decided to do the same. August, back on the radio, this time promoting Refill Pembrokeshire and urging local businesses to sign up to the app and become refill stations. There were over 100 in Pembrokeshire by the end of the summer. I was heavily involved in the very first Eco Zone at the Pembrokeshire County Show. This was the grand unveiling of the new curbside sort vehicles, the backbone of the waste and recycling service change that was by now only a few short months away. It was an absolute pleasure to meet and talk with so many local people there and explain exactly what the service change was all about and show them the new bags and boxes. It was also a chance to get a certain Mark Drakeford to endorse our refill campaign, and we took the opportunity to recognise a lot more eco champions at the show too. I attended a number of community events specifically about the service change and toured a number of groups with the new bags and boxes in tow.
The number of refill stations continued to grow, as did the number of events that our Eco Trail found its way into.
Ironman Wales came to Tenby in September. I'd worked with the event organisers and managed to enlist the support of a number of volunteers over the weekend to ensure that recycling standards were met at each of the feed stations around the course. My volunteers then helped me collect over 7,000 of the plastic water bottles from the event. In the following days, I launched a campaign on our Facebook page whereby local groups and organisations could apply to take quantities of these bottles and save them from landfill. This was another high point of the project, and I could not have done it without my little stars from Gelliswick School. As service change approached, I ramped up the social media content explaining how residents could embrace the changes. A number of my amazing eco champions took on a week's trial of the new bags and boxes, and we produced video diaries of their experience. This was exactly what I'd hoped to achieve. Real people, in real situations, giving meaningful information to Pembrokeshire's residents. In September, we unleashed our Elvis video, a local legend who just so happened to work as one of our amazing collection crews, singing a love song to his new curbside sort vehicle. Needless to say, this went viral. More litter picks, more springboard groups, and finally some time off in October. November saw the launch of our hugely successful Mythbuster campaign to coincide with the rollout of the new collection service. A series of informative posts on social media squashing some of the most outrageous assumptions that had spread across the county about waste and recycling. The posts had almost 300 shares on Facebook alone, and some vitally important information and truths were told. This also identified a real opportunity to engage with residents in the ways they wanted to be engaged with. It was all proven worthwhile when we started to see the immediate successes of that service change. A series of information campaigns from Christmas wrap, and it was also time to wrap up for 2019. We hit January hard and immediately started offering residents the opportunity to accompany us on the Pembrokeshire Eco Champion rubbish road trips, guided tours of the various recycling facilities where people were actually able to follow our waste out of the county and watch it being processed or turned into energy. Christmas tree collections, more litter picks, beeswax wrapped workshops, more springboard sessions, and by February it was time to launch the big Pembrokeshire Microplastic Beach Clean campaign. With a wonderful video hosted by one of our smaller eco champions to kick things off, over 100 microplastics beach clean kits were put together and distributed around the county, following an enormous response from residents who were keen to start the new year by making a difference on the coastline. We worked with a brilliant partnership between Pembrokeshire Youth and Pembrokeshire Housing to produce a short informative video for first-time tenants explaining how to recycle and manage their waste collections. We joined forces with the Pembrokeshire Blue Tits Wild Swimming Group and added our own badge to their long list of badges. Each time the group met to swim at the beaches and lakes around the county, they promised to do a quick litter pick too. 3 litter picks would earn them the Pembrokeshire Eco Champion Beach Clean badge. In March it was my birthday, and I was delighted to receive a very special box of cakes from one of my favourite Eco Champion families.
Then coronavirus happened. The wheels of this mighty project came to a grinding halt.
So I decided to spin the Eco Champion Project into the Pembrokeshire Community Champion Project for a few months, working alongside the amazing Community Hub to celebrate the enormous efforts and support being delivered in towns and villages around the county. These were huge rays of light in a very dark time, but it proved 2 things. 1, the champion approach that this project had identified definitely worked, and 2, Pembrokeshire is full of champions. It was also great to see that during lockdown our collection crews were getting the same and deserving recognition as other vital services. In between lockdowns, we were delighted to partner up with Nerdle, an organisation leading the fight against microplastics. When they heard about our own microplastic campaign, they decided to present us with 2 of their trommels to assist with beach cleans. We also joined forces with a wonderful group in St David's who'd formed a Beach Stewards initiative to maintain the clean beaches and engage with holidaymakers regarding litter. Their amazing volunteers manned the beaches in their area for the entire summer, an outstanding thing to be able to support. When Christmas came around, Welsh Government released their annual recycling statistics. Pembrokeshire had made it to being the top in Wales. Incredible. Therefore, it was only right that we did something special, something unique, something fitting to say thank you to the residents of Pembrokeshire for the part they had played in this success, and to celebrate the amazing collection crews without whom it simply would not have been possible. Cue the alternative Queen's speech that made Pembrokeshire a Christmas #1. More of our Eco Champion videos went out on social media explaining the best ways to reduce, reuse and recycle over the festive period, and we managed to see out the end of 2020.
The Pembrokeshire Eco Champion Project had been a fantastic journey, not just for myself, but for the Eco Champions that I encountered along the way, and obviously the huge success that was the waste and recycling service change in Pembrokeshire. The project was funded by Welsh Government through Leader money, administered via Arwain Sir Benfro, a part of Planed in Pembrokeshire. So that's it, the end of the Pembrokeshire Eco Champion Project as we know it. It's been a wonderful experience for everyone involved, and I just would like to say a massive thank you to all who've contributed in some small or large way and have fed this journey and made it what it was.